So today I got into an argument, and it was over such a dumb thing that I'm almost embarrassed to talk about it, but it could provide a lesson, so it's value. I had somebody message me talking about a documentary that they'd seen on sugar and how it was the devil and it was poison. So straight away this got me a little bit fired up because I get fired up on these things. And I said, send me through the link and I'll watch it. So I started watching it, and as I was going through it, I was writing down all these things that were wrong with it, all these discrepancies, all these so-called graphs, or they were graphs, sorry, but ones that had been taken out of context. But I got about halfway through, and I started thinking to myself, am I really this petty to go through this whole article and write about all the things that are wrong with it? And I kept going. But I got through about 3/4 of it, and then I stopped for a second, partly because I was getting bored, but also partly because I just needed a second to think about what I was actually doing here. And I stepped back, took a second, and started to think about the macro point of view here and what was really important. And I started to realize that even if I don't agree with the concepts of this video, is it doing anybody any harm? And the answer was no. Taking away sugar or dropping sugar is not something that's going to do any harm. I am not somebody that's going to promote it so much. Like, when I say that I don't promote it, what I mean is I'm all about having a good balance in life. So being able to enjoy the things that you do like, but still having the things that are essential. So having your fruit and veggies first and all the important macronutrients. And then on top of that, sometimes you can have some sweets and some fatty foods. But if somebody wants to go down that path of taking away the sugar or cutting down the sugar, it's not going to actually do them any harm. And this took me down a route of thinking about the macro of other things in the past that I've talked about. And if you've watched any of my other videos, you'll know I'm a very basic person. I stick down the same path. I always talk about keeping your programming very simple, very basic, and focusing on progressive overload over time, not mixing it up too crazy, not trying to shock your muscles, not implementing crazy intensity changing techniques. And same with my nutrition. I always talk about calories in versus calories out and focus on the macro point of view there, which has led me down the path of getting frustrated at videos or documentaries such as there's one that was talking about I can't even remember the name of it, but it came out a few years ago talking about how being a vegan is the way to be elite and the best choice in life. And that one got me fired up back then as well, and I started to try to prove them wrong as well. But in reality, again, it's not really doing anyone any harm. Like, being a vegan it's not a bad thing at all. Like, if you're still getting your protein and you're still getting your macro and micronutrients in, then if you don't want to eat meat, it's not going to do you any harm. It probably is a lot healthier for you, to be honest. It's just not my approach. So I think the lesson here, and it was a lesson for me, but it might be a lesson for other people as well, is to apply some compassion when talking to people about their point of view and their strategy behind either losing weight or building muscle. Because in the fitness industry, it's very much a black or white type of industry. People butt heads a lot, and there's a lot of controversial opinions. Where the truth normally lays is in the middle ground, and it comes down to finding what's going to work best for you. So we need to apply that compassion and look at things from other people's point of view and figure out whether it's actually going to do them any harm. If it is going to do them any harm, then it's good to apply your knowledge and help them out. For example, one of my first ever clients, she was talking about learning about a banana diet where she'd seen this fitness influencer online, and this was 8 years ago, I think it was, and she was teaching the people that were following her to only have 30 bananas a day, and that was her secret tips to losing weight. In that case, then it's a good idea to educate somebody. But in the cases where it's not actually going to negatively impact their health, then maybe just be okay with taking a step back and letting them take their path. If it's still going to lead to success, or even if it's not going to lead to detriment, then it's not a bad thing at all. Let them choose their path. There's many paths to success. And that was the lesson I took from this argument. Thank you for following me. Thank you for listening. And if you want to give me a follow, that would be awesome. If you want to comment, like, do all those good things, it helps me out a lot. And it gives me great pleasure to make these videos. So I hope you get a lot out of them. I'll talk to you soon.